Hi guys, this is Lauri from the Rasmus. You're listening to Brutally Delicious Podcast.
The Brutally Delicious Podcast. The Brutally Delicious Podcast. The Brutally Delicious Podcast. The Brutally Delicious Podcast.
Hello, here we go.
How are you?
Good, you can hear me, right?
I can hear you great. Where are you located?
Right.
Got a nice
I'm-
green background.
Yeah, it's real. I'm in Miami.
Oh, lucky you.
Yeah, I live here for another couple of weeks. I'm actually moving back to Finland.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I've lived in the States for 11 years now. But
Awesome.
I'm moving back.
You gonna go back to the gloom?
Yeah, to the darkness.
To the darkness. They're getting some pretty decent weather now, right? It's starting to be light out again.
Yeah, this is the best time of the year. I mean, like May is getting really nice and summer is awesome because we don't have, the sun barely goes down. Like you have this nightless nights and it's just amazing. I mean, I like the winter too, but just
I could
portions.
never. Yeah, I could never deal with it being 24/7 dark. That would kill me.
Yeah, where you located yourself?
I'm in Richmond, Virginia.
Oh,
So not too far from you, but not looking like that. That's beautiful.
yeah.
Anyway,
Right.
let's talk about. We didn't come to talk about the weather, I guess. Let's talk about Rasmus. Absolutely love the single.
Thank you.
And I'll be honest, doing this show is pretty interesting because I get to hear about a lot of bands that I had never heard of before. And, even if you're super popular, I can't hear everything. So when I came across this, I was like prepping for it and going, wow, I've never heard of these guys before, but this is great stuff.
Interesting.
And
Nice.
obviously, people agree, right? Because you're doing really well Spotify-wise and in the charts, right?
Yeah, there's been some hype. I don't know where that came from, but I'm not complaining.
No.
It's like a lot of stuff has happened like since we released the song just like a week or two ago. It's happening. I don't know what's going on. It's cool.
And it's surprising.
Well, it is. Like, I mean, we have a long career. We have done all kinds of things, but every time you put out a new song, it's always like nerve-wracking, like you don't know how people are going to take it. But I think this time around, it's a bit heavier sound. So I think
Right.
that has been kind of a positive thing for a lot of people, and including myself. I'm really happy with this new sound because we still have kind of the Rasmus DNA, the melodic stuff, that kind of Slavic, whatever, northern shit. And then we have this heavier riffs and production. So it's a good match.
Was that intentional or was that just a natural progression, you think?
I was intentional. I mean, I've kind of been in charge a lot of this new album. We had a little like a change in the lineup. Ex-guitarist Pauli, he left the band about 3 years ago, and then we had Empu, this new guitarist. She joined us about 2 years ago, and basically the band kind of broke up for a couple of weeks, and then she joined us, and the rest is kind of history. But I've been more in charge with the new sound and like taking a new course for the band. But yeah, I just feel like this heavier sound also matches better what's going on in the world, and I've been a bit more bitter and disappointed in some things that happen in my personal life, and so
Right.
just like you just gotta have the sound matching your own feelings.
Okay. So you mentioned it a little bit, but here, let's talk about the record. I mean, the song then, it's described as an anthem for outsiders and a rallying cry for unity amongst division. Can you elaborate on that?
Yeah, it's actually pretty much been the message of our band from the very beginning. We started the band in '94. God damn it, a long time ago. And the first album came out in '96, and then on that album, I have a song called "Myself," where I'm singing like, "I can't be myself, I can't be myself, I can't be myself." That's the whole chorus, and that was kind of how I felt being at school when I was kind of the weirdo and the freaky dude, which I enjoyed at the same time. I wasn't like forced to be something like that. I just wanted to be like that. And then I think I'm still the same guy. I'm still singing about the same philosophy in a way. Like, I just, I just want to have everybody being themselves and come as they are. And, that's kind of my view of the world, and love who they want to love and all that stuff. So it's kind of, especially in this time of the world, is kind of getting more difficult to be yourself. Like, you're supposed to be something, and you look at the social media. Okay, this is like the alpha male, like this, and you must have this kind of beard and this kind of whatever. And same for women, especially women. I think like it's tough. So this is kind of like the vibe of the song, like just come as you are.
Do you feel a sense of responsibility with what's going on in the world to kind of bring that message?
Hey, what's up, you guys? This is Reed Mathis. I made a podcast called The Gifts of Improvising. That's coming out on Osiris. We talk to all your favorite improvisers.
Natalie Cressman, Marco Benevento, Tom Hamilton,
Aaron Magner,
Holly Bowling, Bill Kreutzmann, and Jay Lane.
So what are you doing, a podcast?
Yeah, doing a podcast.
So don't fear if you hear a foreign sound to your ear.
We need the gifts of improvising.
Well, maybe just like an example of a guy who quit my school and didn't ever get a real job. I was just fighting my way to be as successful so that I could make my living with this band. And it's not very common. It's not the easy path, to do. But I'm always saying, like, if you have dreams and if you believe in yourself, like anything is pretty much possible. It hasn't been easy for us always. Like, we've had peaks of success and then hard times, difficult times, almost breaking up with the band, some flop albums, like all kinds of things. It's been 30 years, so it's a lifetime, But for some reason, we have been able to keep our fans, like, even in the US now, which is freaking crazy. We haven't played in the US in 16 years. Like, what? I've lived here for 11 years. And it's like, what? How did that happen? So, but, like, now that we've announced these gigs starting next week, and it's so fun to see all the comments from the US fans, like, oh, I was there, 18 years ago, I saw you guys, and I'm so happy you coming back. And this feels wonderful that people have somehow made quite deep connections with us in the past and pretty much everywhere we've gone ever. So it feels like we haven't lost the fans. They are just like spread around. Like, even in the US, I think we once upon a time sold like 200,000 albums, which is a lot of albums, but not so many in the US. If you think, like, the gold record is 500, whatever. But still, to me, it's like, if I would see 200,000 people standing there in front of me, that would mean a lot to me. So you got to kind of put stuff in perspective, and so I'm hoping to reach a lot of these people on this tour who were there, who were listening to us back then. Of course, a lot of people have discovered us just lately now. And, good things are happening.
Yeah, I'm one of those guys, like I said, and I'll be at the Richmond show. I think it's the end of the month. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to that a lot.
Great.
But, so I wanted to ask you something else because I thought it was really interesting. You guys have worked with Desmond Child before, I guess, and he worked on this one as well. Personal favorite of mine, going back to like early Kiss stuff, right? I'm a whole lot older, and I love all that Kiss stuff that he's done, and Bon Jovi. I mean, it's like a who's who of who he's worked with. What was it like working with him, and was it intimidating?
Yeah, I mean, I gotta say, like, I'm a big fan of his songs. Like, ever since I grew up, I was I don't know, like 7 years old. I was listening to Heaven's on Fire. I Was Made for Loving You from Kiss. I was a little too young to be like a hardcore Kiss fan, but I got those songs on a cassette. I was like in my room, like
Right.
like
Even
as
like
less than
Living on a
10 years.
Prayer, I think he did, right?
Yeah, Living on a Prayer, Poison for Alice Cooper, like
Yeah, it's
all these
crazy.
songs like You Give Love a Bad Name, and then pop stuff too, like Living the Vida Loca and stuff like that. So he's incredible songwriter and also personality. Like I'm much more than just like a songwriter with him. Actually I spent like months and months at his house, like living in the basement and like just like um he's become more than just like a co-worker. It's more like a family kind of thing. He's actually godfather to my daughter and stuff like that. So I have this tradition hanging with him in Greece every summer for the last 17 years. He's gone there. I don't go every year, but I try to go. He's gone there on this small island called Folegandros in Greece. It's like 4 hours from Athens by boat, and it's not a very famous island, but it's like a beautiful, quiet place. And we go there to write songs and just hang out. And it's become a cool tradition to go there, and we've written a lot of stuff there.
Is that really inspirational to kind of go there and do that as opposed to writing from home or
Yeah,
wherever?
I think it's nice when even for him, like I've gone to his house a lot, in Nashville and stuff, in studio and that surroundings. But I think he also enjoys that, we go to a place which is like no man's land for all of us, and then we're just like there, and there's nothing. There's like maybe two restaurants on the island, and like it's the focus and concentration is like on the next level. But working with him is truly amazing. Like he has so much experience about songwriting, of course, but also life. Like how he sort of guides me as a life coach too, if I would say that. Like I've had some difficult times. Like a couple of 3 years ago, we were breaking up with the band. I was going through this depression stuff, and then I went to him in Greece again, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna quit the band. This fucking sucks, and I'm gonna, just go solo and whatnot. And I was literally lying on the sofa there in this room, and he was making notes like a therapist. And everything I said ended up in the song we wrote after that
Really?
session. Yeah,
That's kind
it's
of
called
funny.
Rise. It's called Rise. The Rise Up. Like it was all about my shit.
What
And
were your
then
thoughts about that at first, though? Did you feel that was too much of yourself to put in a song?
no, I like to put it out there. Like anyway, my style of writing is a bit more like poetic. It's not that direct. It's like metaphors and stuff. But the idea comes from inside, and that's very important. Like whatever you say in your songs, that you feel it yourself and you believe it yourself, and then when you put it out there, maybe someone else will too. So uh, I like to work with him like that. And then he was like, quit that shit. Like you're not quitting the band, you're not going solo, nobody gives a fuck if you go solo. That's what he said. And he's right. And he's like, you have a great band, you've built this for your whole life, and like don't throw it away. Like now just let's write the song, and like let's keep going. And he kind of put me back on track there once again, and I'm really grateful for him for that.
Fair enough. Were you concerned that your
Well, it
sorry,
was just kind of,
kind of got
yeah.
muted? Yeah.
Yeah.
Were you concerned that your fans wouldn't take the journey to the more heavier stuff, like your traditional fans, or is that not a concern when you were doing that?
I think the fans have always been expecting us. They're like, please make a rock album. Like we've explored a lot with synthesizers and stuff like that. I have a passion for that too. I've made some solo stuff that was very electronic, and I like that kind of, because I think it's also kind of dark and gothic or whatnot. The synth sounds. I love that stuff. But I think the fans are actually pleased with this new sound, as far as I've seen the comments. on socials, and like I'm just feeling that they are happy because, like what I said before, we still have that typical Rasmus sound in the behind, like the melodies and even the lyrics and all that. It's just another. It's like a kind of a new, fresh package, and I've felt like we've had changed a lot with each album we've ever put out. Like for some weird reason, the fans have always been adapting to it. So, which I'm grateful for. But
Yeah, it's great they follow along.
Yeah, it's like I don't know how that happened, but it's good because it has kept me surviving and us because we were able to make it comfortable for ourselves to make whatever we like and then just put it out and see if they follow. But they have. So, but I'm
just feel like bands that do that, that change even remotely a little bit, they lose like, their core base because everybody wants just that certain thing. So that's great. They're following along.
Yeah, I think maybe that happened at the very beginning, like way back in Finland. Like our three first albums basically were just released in Finland only, like in the 90s. So, and then we used to play this, the music was different. It was like funk and like rap, and it was like kind of Red Hot Chili Peppers ish. And I think when we changed from that into more like, distorted guitars and like riffs and like harder, then a lot of those guys were like, "Oh, I used to like the first album," and you know how it is. But you can't please them all. You can't.
And I think you come from well, I know you come from a sort of pedigree in Finland, right? Because they're known for exporting some of the best heavy music in the world. I think even more heavy bands come out of there than anywhere else per capita.
That is, yeah, that's I'm proud of that. It's a small country of 5.5 million people only, and we have all these bands touring around the world constantly. Like, it's fun if we go, yeah, good bands. We go on a tour in Latin America. We always meet the Finnish guys. Oh, you guys in the city too, and like, it's fantastic, and all the bands are slightly different from each other. They all have their own unique sound and style, but I think something in the very deep there is like the traditional Finnish something, the Slavic melancholy, the melody lines, something I can't explain because I'm born into that. I'm born into that, being the Finnish guy and like surviving that winter. And
right?
The weather is, of course, it's huge because like instead, like if you would live in Sao Paulo, I would go play soccer, or Miami. I would play soccer when I was a kid, but I was like, oh, I'm just going to stay in my room because it's freezing cold and dark, and I'm going to just play my guitar here and like wait for the spring for 9 months.
So you guys, when you're heading out, 2 weeks, you said, or a week?
A week. Next week's Friday is the first gig in Virginia.
Oh, you're playing the first gig here?
Yeah, I think so.
I didn't realize that. Wow, nice.
Yeah, we are supporting the Funeral Portrait.
I just got off the phone with them. I did the Zoom with them just before you guys.
You did? Oh, wow. Great. I mean, I'm so happy. I haven't even met them in person. Imagine, like, we are actually going to tour almost the whole year with them now because we first invited them to support us on the European tour.
Right.
So they are coming with us, I think in October or something, for a couple of months. And now they just called us like 2 weeks ago, like, would you guys want to come? And I was like, fuck yeah, of course.
Oh, yeah.
But if we can only get the visas, like, it's not that easy. For me, I have a passport, but for the rest of the band, the crew, we're fighting now to get the visas. So we'll see how it goes. But yeah, exciting.
So that's the rest of the year then? You're going to be on the road? Yeah,
pretty much, like till Christmas. And then our manager, he was saying, like, guys, prepare to be on tour for two years. Like, okay, that sounds good.
What about singles? Are you doing more singles along the way?
Yeah, we are. We have a lot coming, and we film good videos and stuff. Like there's so many things. Like I'm so happy that many times when we release something, it's always in a hurry. Like you know, we have a schedule and we're always late for something and blah blah blah. But now, just felt like for some reason we had the right team, even like for the videos and everything. Everything was just like in place, and it just happened. Like we have like been able to build a whole surprise for you guys, and it's just a fantastic feeling. Like I can't wait to release all the songs and see, there could be some good surprises.
That's great. And if fans want to find you, it's just Rasmus everywhere.
Yeah, the Rasmus.com is like the best place to find anything about us. The gigs, merch, music. Yeah.
Well, that's all I had. I'm looking forward to seeing you guys here. Maybe it's a week. I don't know. I think it's the 29th here, so maybe that's 2 weeks. But whatever it is,
All right.
I'll make
Let's
a
get to
point
talk
to come
to
say hello. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Come.
Thank you for taking the time, my friend. I really dig the stuff, and I'm looking forward to catching up with you. So
Great. Good to meet you. Take care.
be safe on the road. Cheers.
Thanks. Bye. Bye.
This is Lawrence Lanahan, journalist, musician, and host of Rearranged, an Osiris Media podcast about music arranging. Once a song is written, arrangers make musical decisions that shape how we end up hearing the song. And we're not just talking about adding orchestral accompaniment like horns and strings, or doing a cover version of a song. Arrangement can be putting happy music over dark lyrics, using samples, recording all acoustic, even tiny decisions like putting an electronic loop into an acoustic song to draw your attention to an important turn of phrase. It's all arranging. Rearranged episodes are documentary essays where I use arrangements to answer some big questions like what is a song? And what can a song become? And how can the sound of a song change the meaning you take from it? Listening this way has changed my relationship with music. Tune into Rearranged, and maybe it'll happen for you too. Learn more at rearrangedpodcast.com.
Osiris.